didn't hear you. I look like I should have been in somebody's movie. Turn the car around. I said Washington works.
There you go. Yeah. Everyone. And happy Tuesday to you. Yes, today is Tuesday, June 27th. Shortly after the 10 a.m. hour, we're here in the Assembly Hall at 901 Main Street in the heart of Old Town Conyers, and want to call our meeting to order this morning, and we will start with the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance, and we will have that led by our very own Director Terrence Simpkins. Director Simpkins.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
May we bow our heads. Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us together once again to perform the people's work, dear Lord. We pray that you guide us and look after us as we make what are a lot of times difficult decisions. But please let all people know that they are in the best interest of the citizens of Rockdale County. We just thank you for all of your blessings that you bestowed on us, dear Lord. And we ask that you continue to watch over these proceedings and Rockdale County, dear Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Director Simpkins, and thank you for the work that you're doing, your team in the Stormwater Department. We certainly do appreciate you leading us this morning in invocation and pledge. Moving right along, we don't have any commissioners, any special recognitions this morning, so that takes us to item number 4, the approval of the agenda. What's your pleasure?
I move to approve the agenda as published.
I second that
It's been
motion.
properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 5 will be the approval of the minutes from June 13th of 2023. Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. No unfinished business. Moving on, no consent agenda either this month. We're rocking and rolling. Moving to the regular agenda, item number 8.
Mr. Chairman,
Any volume? I don't know what's.
I apologize, my microphone's not on, so it might be the power outage.
Oh, maybe.
Could have hit us. I'll just talk really loud if that's all right.
Go, I hear
Okay,
you. Go right
can you
ahead.
hear me? All right, thank you. Okay, so item 2023-305 under the irregular agenda. Our first item is the Corey Brown Band through Parks and Recreation. This is for the band performance for the summer concert series at Costley Mill Park in the amount of $3,500. The date was June 25th, 2023, and this is submitted for ratification.
Commissioners,
I move to approve this ratification as presented.
I second that motion.
it's been properly motioned and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item, please.
Item 306 is with Atlas Technical Consultants LLC through the Transportation Department. This is for the project management on SPLAS projects. It's change order number 8 to contract 2020-23. It's an additional $65,000 and to extend the contract through December 31st, 2023, and this is SPLAS funded.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 307 is with Snapping Shoals EMC through the Transportation Department. This is for the government security light to install 14 street lights in McCart Landing Phase 2 in the amount of $186.20 per month.
I move, no, this is me.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
Item 308 is a resolution providing for the installation of streetlights and the assessment of the annual cost of maintaining and operating said streetlights against the abutting property.
I move to approve this resolution as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 309 is with Go Forth Williamson Incorporated through the Water Resources Department. This is to remove, rebuild, and install high-service pumps and motors, number 3 and number 5. This is change order number 2 to contract 2022-174 to add the new shaft on high-service pump number 5, an additional $10,345.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 310 is with Swift Comply Incorporated through the Water Resources Department for the XC2 migration software to Swift Comply Backflow in the amount of $5,000. This is a single event.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 311 is with Enterprise Fleet Management Incorporated through the Fleet Services Division for Fleet Replacement Plan. This is the substitution for one 2023 Ford E-Transit 350 Cargo for the Parks and Recreation Department. This is change order number 7 to contract 2022-164. There's a credit in the amount of $938.76. This is for 60 months and it is host funded and also submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 312 is with Enterprise Fleet Management Incorporated through the Fleet Services Division for the Fleet Replacement Plan. This is change order number 8 to contract 2022-164. This is for 10 vehicles in the amount of $90,342.96 per year, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 313 is with Enterprise Fleet Management Incorporated through Technology Services Department. This is for the GeoTab fleet tracking software in the amount of $4,427.50 per month for 1 year.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 314 is with the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council through the Juvenile Court for the Resource Court. This is a grant in the amount of $67,650. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 315 is with the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council through the Juvenile Court. This is for the Drug Court. This is a grant in the amount of $76,399. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 316 is with the Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council through the Juvenile Court. This is for Family Treatment Court. This is a grant in the amount of $48,564. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 317 is with the Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council through the State Court. This is for the DUI Court Supervised Treatment Program. This is a grant in the amount of $88,585. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 318 is with the Hospital Authority of Rockdale County through the State Court. This is the Pearl Program. It's a grant in the amount of $1,000. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 319 is with the Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council through the Superior Court. This is for drug court, and it's a grant in the amount of $270,087. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
So shouldn't that be the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council?
That's what I'm reading.
It is, but I thought I heard juvenile.
Oh.
Maybe I heard it wrong.
Okay.
I do
Criminal
have-
Justice Coordinating Council? I'll just say it again in case I did say something incorrect.
You never know.
All right.
Just ask my husband. He'll tell you I don't hear
No,
everything.
listen, it could be me.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. All righty. Next item, please.
Okay, item 320 is with the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council through the Superior Court for the Resource Court. This is a grant in the amount of $156,379. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 321 is with the Hospital Authority of Rockdale County through the Superior Court. This is for the Adult Accountability Courts. It's a grant in the amount of $30,000. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 322 is with the Hospital Authority of Rockdale County through the Parks and Recreation Senior Services Division for the Liquid Supplement Grant in the amount of $7,000. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
Item 323 is with the Hospital Authority of Rockdale County through the District Attorney's Office. This is for the Youth Intervention Enrichment and Learning by Design Yield Grant in the amount of $5,500. The term is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
I move to approve this grant as presented.
I second that motion.
So I do have a comment before we go on. I just wanted to share this with Chief Sanders and Deputy Director Narendra. In the future going forward, let's just make sure that if any of these grants require matching funds on behalf of the county, that is noted there so that both myself and the commissioners would be aware of it and the general public would know as well on any matching funds for any of the grants that's coming forward. And a lot of that is found inside of our paperwork, but
Right,
for general purposes of announcing it to the public, folks who are paying attention and tracking and monitoring this activity, they need to know, and we need to say that out loud, that there's matching funds or no matching funds required, just for general purposes. Okay, so we have it's been motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
All right, item 324 is a requisition for the accountability lab services from Microgenics Corporation for reagents and non-consumables not to exceed the amount of $75,000.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
All right, item 325 is a list of surplus equipment from various departments: General Services, Parks and Recreation, the Board of Assessors, and Technology Services.
I move to declare these items as surplus as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. I think we're down now to public comment.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Has any come forward?
I do not have any red cards.
All right, we're going to go right to board comments. I'll start with Commissioner Washington.
So, first of all, congratulations to Jason Redmond and his team for an outstanding summer concert series. That, you know, the new phrase is "we outside." We were outside, y'all. We were outside. We had a good time until it rains. And then I told Miss Bean she gets 2 raises because she was in the torrential downpour, turning cars around. You know, and y'all know Alandria is pretty chic and always well put together. So the fact that she was getting the job done and making sure everybody was safe in the torrential downpour, she gets there we are. We were outside. That's called being outside. So we had a good time. So thank you all. I'm looking forward to our next summer concert series. It was really, really good. Second thing, we're still outside. The second thing is on
There's no
this-
pictures of the rain.
Well, that was all the
That's the
excitement
afterthought.
before.
That's the afterthought.
Yeah, that was long before the rain.
Right. You know how you tell the things go down in history, all of the details don't make it. So for this one, the rainstorm isn't going to make it, just those pictures. The second thing is on this coming up Thursday, I'm having the second part of our housing seminar. We have presenters from the Atlanta Regional Commission, from Georgia Power, from other agencies that are going to once again talk to us about affordable housing, housing in general, the housing crisis, and our situation in Rockdale County. It's the same one that was presented, but this one's open to the public. So it's this coming up Thursday, June 29th, from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I'm asking as many people, everybody's concerned about housing, everybody's concerned about how housing is affecting Rockdale County, and it's affecting it in ways that we never really thought about. And so I just want people to come and get the information, and after I feel as if we are informed as a community, then we'll go forth and putting forth plans on how we will deal with the affordable housing crisis in this county on a larger scale. So, but please come out. Pastor, please tell your congregation to come out on Thursday from 6 to 8:30 at JP Carr, so that we can all talk about housing, get educated and informed about the housing crisis. Last thing I have. So this is how you know that people listen to us when somebody dropped this off. I picked this up, I didn't know it was coming. Piece of luggage for the children in defects.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
Did you see me take it out the bag? They brought it in the bag. Brand new, still has tags on it. So whoever did this, I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. This is what we need. We're working on a date so that I can give you a date the next time we talk on where we're going to have the luggage drive. But if you have some luggage that when you're in Target like they were and you just go by the luggage rack and you want to pick some up, bring it here. I'm sure I will give this to DFAS, but this is what we need for these children so that they can, if they have to be removed from their home, they can have some kind of dignity. And with carrying their belongings, they can get them out of those sacks. And these children are taking their belongings in paper bags to their new home. And, you know, it's already traumatic enough that they have to be removed from their home. But let's at least let them have some dignity in having some luggage. If you can put some toiletries in it, that would be even better, but we'll take just the luggage. So just, like I said, next week we would have coordinated when we're gonna actually have the luggage drive. But just like whoever sent this, I'm sure I'm appreciative of it, but drop it by, we'll get it to them before the luggage drive. But this is exactly what we need. So that's all I have.
All right. Wow. Okay, Commissioner Lee.
So, it's been a lot of work going on in the last couple of weeks. We had our first, the ACCG Mental Health Committee met, the committee members met in Milledgeville last week. And that was really interesting to see. There was just, I don't know, 10 of us, 9 of us, something like that. And the enthusiasm and the commitment to the different committees. So Commissioner Chris Gaines from Dawson County and I are co-chairing the committee on best practices for community partnerships. So he and I will be meeting this afternoon, getting together a list of people that we would like to have on our committee from across the state. And then that's our first assignment, is to get that committee list together.
Very good.
And submit that to ACCG. And then after we get the committee together, then we'll go ahead and start outlining a plan. So that was good. I have a meeting Thursday with Gabriel Carter, who is the staff from ACCG that services the Criminal Justice Law Enforcement Policy Committee and the Health and Human Services Policy Committee. So he and I and Commissioner Owens, I don't remember where he's from, but he's the vice chair, and I chair that committee. We'll be looking at the policy agenda for the policy meetings in August. And so, you know, that will have some of the big things on that item, on those policy issues are mental health concerns, emergency management, that's another one of the policies. But you know, one of our main focuses is House Bill 520, which should have passed easily last year, and it did pass the House, but it did not pass the Senate, purely for political reasons. And so it's delayed services and funding that would have been beneficial to citizens of the state. And so that will become a major focus for us, is getting that bill passed by, I don't know, does it have to go back to the House, or does it just have to pass the Senate, or what?
It'll have to go back through the entire process, although it will still be alive in session next year.
Right, okay. I had 2 meetings yesterday about transitional housing. We have one landlord in town who's very interested in supporting what we're doing. He already does some work with Viewpoint Health in terms of housing, but he's looking to develop some more.
Okay.
And so that was a good meeting. Then I had a meeting with a person who owns some land that his plan and hope has always been to develop something for this community, the transitional community. And I think I caught him right in time because he was thinking about selling it. I said, don't sell it. Let's talk about what we can do because we are so short of housing, transitional housing.
Where is about where
It's on 212. Yeah, it butts up to 212. So it's not in the middle of a residential area at all. So he asked me to put together a committee that we could put together a plan and show the sustainability of that. And then he will assist us by going to foundations and, you know, large foundations. And so we're moving. All of a sudden, I just feel this urgency about getting this housing. It seems to be a major issue. I can't think of anything else. I think that's it.
Well, something else might come to you. We're doing good on time. I want to move, Commissioner, did you have an extra thought?
Nope, none.
All right, okay, we're going to try to stay in sync. Very briefly, I'm calling up Deputy Director Vaughn Jameson. He's going to come tell us what we've got an interesting little situation going on at the Customer Service Center at our drive-through. Deputy Director Jameson, tell us what's happening.
Well, good morning, Mr. Chair, Madam Commissioners. So I really want to say this. I want to appreciate the citizens of Rockdale County because they are paying their bills and they are so excited to pay their bills. We've actually seen a decline in the number of special payment arrangements over the last few months. And so people are paying their bill online, they're coming inside, but they're also coming through our drive-through. And one of the things that we had recently that's come up is that it's been difficult to have coins pass through the drive-through because it jams it and then General Services has to come through and unclog the actual drawer at the drive-through. And so we've made some changes and we've pivoted, and now we have envelopes for our public. If they want their 35 cents back, they can just go through the drive-through, put those coins in there, and we can actually give them coins back also. So more to come. We're doing a lot of great things over at customer service, but I did want to provide that update.
Well, thank you so much, Deputy Director. Just to echo a little bit, you know, we bought an old bank. It's an old bank building, and the drive-through does work. However, the drawer where you actually put loose coins in, if you put loose coins, it's going to jam the drawer up and get stuck. So we've got some coined envelopes. Now, keep in mind, you got to pay for those coin envelopes. So we had to buy those, but it's more convenient for those folks who are coming through the drive-through. I think wanted to make mention because we had a citizen last week who was a little bit concerned, and we had to explain what was going on. And we've got the 33-cent waive. They paid all the money except for 33-cent balance, and we took care of 33 cents. So we got it taken care of. Next up, RDOT. Bethel Road has had a lot of concerns, and want to have Deputy Director Brown tell us a brief synopsis as to what we're doing with Bethel Road in the days to come with SPLOST.
Certainly, and thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, Madam Commissioners and Chairman Nesbitt.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I'll start off with SPLOST 5 as the overview and look at North Rockdale County. So roads are one of the lifelines of Rockdale County. It's the most visible piece of public infrastructure in the county, and sometimes can be an indicator of the health of a community. That is why our next SPLOST is so important. That is also why so many of our residents are active when it comes to advocating for the roads they live on and drive across. Let's take Bethel Road Northwest, Northeast for example. We're a little ahead. So Bethel Road, situated on the north side of the county, is considered in engineering terms a rural collector. And that's evident by the pastures, the ranches, the natural ditches and shoulders, and its connections to larger roads like Hightower Trail and Pleasant Hill. Points of interest in that area that road takes people to are Black Shoals Park, Randy Pointer Lake, the Retreat House, and Harrelson Mill Covered Bridge. Next slide, please. So Bethel Road, I'll give a few stats. So it's a little over 5 miles in length. It's a 2-lane roadway. We have 60 feet of public right-of-way in that area. Posted speed limits are around 40 miles per hour, and the pavement was last treated by RDOT with one of our projects out of RDOT was back in 2013. And since then, our in-house forces have performed numerous patches and minor maintenance to that roadway to keep it up to keep it functional. Next slide, please. So back in 2021, a couple years ago, we performed an overall assessment of all the roads in the county. There's 500 plus miles of roadway. And fast forward to now, well actually after the assessment, we categorize each of these roads and using a pavement condition index, which basically gives it a score of 0 to 100. So less than 1.5 miles of this 5-mile length of roadway is poor, which is a 40 to 55.
What does that mean?
40 to 55, you almost think of it as essentially a grading system. So when we say poor, what that would mean is that it doesn't look good necessarily. It doesn't mean that it's structurally failing, but there is some evidence of some structural failures. And it means that we need to perform some maintenance on it,
So
and potentially.
The rating scale is from 0 to 100?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes. And on the next slide, I'll actually show the breakdown of all the different ranges from 0 to 100 and give a little insight into what these roads would potentially look like. So Bethel Road out of 5 miles, 1.5 miles is not in good shape. So that's probably the 1.5 miles that that individual happened to notice and point out to the chairman. And this was discussed maybe not even a week and a half ago, so definitely want to take note of the quick turnaround on a response to try to let folks know that we are looking at Bethel Road. We, as in RDOT, is looking at Bethel Road. So what you see on that slide are 2 cores. Basically, we pull samples out of the roadway to get a better look at the roadway. This is the last step towards putting a road onto a SPLOST list. This lets us know what's in place, what the asphalt looks like, gives us a closer look, lets us know the thickness of the asphalt and how much asphalt we need to put down to replace it. Next slide, please. And this is a snippet of how the roads are ranked in our GIS system, which is an internal asset that we're still tweaking. But if you notice some of the red on that map, that is a section of Bethel Road that is in need of replacement or some heavy maintenance. So that's the table on the left. That is the rating system. So from 85 to 100, you're in good shape. Usually that'll show up on the map as green. Then going all the way down to the bottom, 0 to 10, that would be failed. That will show up on the map as definitely like a dark red, almost a burgundy. And Bethel Road is right around that, like I said, the 40 to 55 range, which is kind of a light red. So what we're doing in the meantime is performing in-house maintenance, which is patching, potholing, and keeping an eye on the roadway and tracking those deteriorating conditions. Next slide, please. And despite it being poor, it is still serviceable. When we went into this year, when RDOT went into this year of 2020, well, last year, 2022, roughly 26% of our roads were in that poor condition. So from Bethel on down, we had about 27% of our roads in poor condition. That was 145 miles. So after the completion of SPLOST 4A, we reduced that 145 miles down to 130 miles. But by comparison, Bethel is not in the worst shape in the county. For example, we have Twin Valley Road that has a pavement condition index of 27. Good Road, for instance, is 38. McDaniel Mill, which is a heavily traveled road, has a pavement condition index of a 36. And those are roads that we're also tracking and finding the best time to perform maintenance and coming up with not just a maintenance plan, but to find out what maintenance plan is most appropriate. Some of these roads that are in the lowest category, like Cross Street in the Millstead community, it's at a 21, that's going to require heavy maintenance. So imagine replacing the whole roof instead of just a couple of panels or a couple of tiles on a roof. Next slide, please. All right, so administratively, a lot of thought goes into how these roads are not only ranked, but how they make it to the SPLOST list. Director Kelly and the SPLOST committee, they've been coordinating and working in concert to help develop this list. It's not just about how the pavement looks, it is how the pavement functions. There's also some engineering, a little bit of science that goes into it, pulling out cores and getting a closer look at these samples to find out what the best approach is, and to see whether or not what we see on the surface matches with the pavement condition index. So PCI ratings, vehicular traffic volumes, especially tractor trailers, they will tear up our roads. They will quickly deteriorate our roads. So that gets factored into it. So like McDaniel Mill, Pleasant Hill, those are heavily traveled roads with tractor trailers, Sigmund Road for sure. We also factor in current and future development. I think on the south side of the county currently, we have a number of permits and active construction projects for subdivisions, so that gets factored into it. Of course, economic impacts and points of interest. Bethel Road leads to a number of points of interest on the north side of the county. And then field samples and recommendations, take that into consideration. And then we try to find the most cost-effective approach. We also, I think a lot of that was also discussed in the Infrastructure Planning Task Force. We also work with the ARC, and we also, on a higher level, we also work with the Strategic Office and help provide contributions to the Envision Rockdale in concert with in high-level decision-making. And that concludes my presentation. I hope that answers the concerns for Bethel Road.
Well, Deputy Director Brown, thank you so much for your presentation. I'm going to go through the core and just ask this question. When will we start the SPLOST work on Bethel Road? Because that's really what the folks up there want to hear.
Certainly. All right, so we're still developing the list. We'll finalize it. Roughly, we're looking at the end of this year, early part of next year. So it'll follow about the same timeline as SPLOST 4A, where we started around the fall of the year, and we just completed it about a month ago.
So in the meantime, we will do some maintenance to try to address some of the issues that's happening there on Bethel Road.
That's right, yeah. So visually, riding that road, when I rode it about a week ago, yeah, noticed maybe a few small potholes, maybe some rutting on the shoulders. Those things can be taken care of, but as far as an overall maintenance, like I said, about a mile and a half of it will have to be taken care of under SPLOST. We're looking at end of this year or early part of next year.
Commissioner Washington.
So what I would like to see is a plan to, I know we're having to address all of the roads, and let me say that either last year or the year before, I voiced my concerns about Bethel Road, and I was told exactly what you said today, but just in a more succinct way. But what I would like to see is a plan to not just address everything that we have going on, but how do we keep the roads from getting back down to a 21? So not just addressing the problems, but how are we maintaining the roads that are at a certain point to keep them from getting to a 21 again? Like it doesn't make sense to almost have to get your car realigned to go down Bethel Road.
Certainly. Yeah, and that's something that we are working on in RDOT, come up with essentially a 5-year plan, I think it's safe to say, so we could have that list, a running list of roadways. So those roads that are in great condition right now, say 5-10 years from now,
Right.
They're going to deteriorate.
Right.
But yeah, so those roads, ideally you'll keep everything above like 60, 70
Exactly.
on the
So,
PCI.
so
it's
how are
cheaper.
we going to do that? What is that? And what I think that would do for the public is assure them that we understand that they might have a problem, and this is when your road is going to be maintained.
Right, and that's the overall plan, and the goal for RDOT is to have that plan where they can see which roads are going to be done and when. Right. So yeah, and that'll take some money too and
The
time.
commissioner asking a very good question, but let me just say this, because the fact that we have SPLOST is a robust part of our plan to continue maintenance in Rockdale County. Right now, we're talking about the highlight is on Bethel Road. Tomorrow, it may be Tucker Mill, which is in the southern district of the county, or maybe on somewhere off of Salem Road. There's so many different roadways in our county. We can't get to all of those roads all at the same time. There's a rating system, as he's explained to us, and not just that. Even the in-house capabilities that we have doesn't stand themselves in a position to address them to the degree. Some roads need complete overhaul or resurfacing. So there is a system, there is a plan in place. Thank God that Rockdale County has SPLOST, because one of the best benefits of SPLOST is being able to use those funds for transportation and road maintenance and improvement. So whatever the citizens here want to make sure they know that there is a plan, and a part of that plan is SPLOST. And please don't ever do anything to let SPLOST go away in Rockdale County, because we cannot survive without SPLOST when you talk about transportation, public safety, parks and recreation, and a host of other things, senior services, that all come out of that pot that when citizens contribute to the SPLOST. So there is a plan, but it takes time to get there. I brought this one into the spotlight this morning simply because we had a couple of calls from some residents on the northern side of the county, and I think the deputy director did a great job explaining the scale that we have. Whereas it may look really bad, it's not so to the point that you can't drive on that surface. But we got to move on. I see the director is here.
I'd like to.
Commissioner, go right ahead.
Okay, so, is this on the website? Is there, yes, it would be really helpful, I think, for citizens to, first off, to see a list of what's going to be worked on in the next 3 months, the
target.
Yeah, the target and coming down the list with that number next to it and the rating system, so they understand, oh, I thought mine was really bad, but I can see that those are worse and they're higher up.
Absolutely. But no, not currently. But that is the end game. Hopefully we could have all that on our website by the end of the year. That's just roughly. But there are a number of counties and other jurisdictions in the Atlanta metro area that do share that information.
Right.
And we are looking to find a way to replicate that same type of information that's provided to their public, or to their residents, citizens. But yeah, we're not there yet, but we do have a number of spreadsheets, kind of old tech, to get to that point.
Director
the county's been working with SPLOST. Yep.
So, thank you very much, Madam Commissioner, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for letting me step in real quick. Exactly to your point, we are currently in that process. The current target for that exact server website, we are coordinating with Technology Services on having that ready for our Transportation Summit, where we can release that in one big file swoop, but we'll have the maps that he started to show. That's where some of those maps and those ratings came from. He was able to pull that from that preliminary takeoff. So what we're doing is trying to get that updated and ready to go, so we can drop everything in, and we'll do it by SPLOST. And we'll go back as far as SPLOST, I think 2, and break the roads down that were done. And that will let us track a history of the roads, where he said some of the roads were done in 2013. That'll give you an idea of how long those are lasting. It'll also speak to your point of the maintenance side of it, where we can look at what we have done in the past and what we're going to do in the future as far as extending those. Once we fix them, how long can we make those roads last?
Well, Director Kelly, thank you so much. One of the things I heard you bring out, because what Commissioner Williams and Commissioner Washington brought out, what citizens want to know, and you've addressed that as we move forward, how can they simply go to the website and look at our site through RDOT and determine where is their road on the list? And if you have a list of roads that are urgent for this calendar year, that makes sense as well, and that gives them an idea, based upon the rating system and the SPLOST funds available, how we can move throughout the county and address those. We're excited about your upcoming Transportation Summit this fall, and we know that you'll have all that information. Let's give them a round of applause. Got some new directors, Chief Sadness. We got to go back to that old version of the cake version. Y'all remember the cake version, don't you? Executive Director Holmes, you know the cake version, right? Yes, indeed. So I know Director Morgan knows the cake version. Come on up and give us a cake version about the EMA response. You still sitting there. of this past weekend. Stay tuned. You're going to get it. Watch it.
Okay.
This past weekend, Sunday night, Rockdale, as with most of North Georgia, was hit with a windstorm of unusual short-term severity, and I'll just give you an update. 911, fire, RDOT, and SO all responded very admirably. Shout out to fire. They had crews on the road for most of the night into the morning, got it all handled before daybreak on Monday. During those 3 hours, 6:30 to 9:30, we received 44 calls that were just storm related. Trees down, lines down, trees on houses. That's in addition to all the normal stuff you get, accidents and service calls and business checks. So most of the calls were handled. That was when the calls came in. Most of the calls were completed sometime between 2 and 4 a.m. and the county sustained essentially no permanent damage other than a bunch of trees and lines down. Power companies came in and got it all fixed.
Thank you, Director Morgan. Let's give him a round of applause. Quick response. So I do want to make mention, because I think sometimes citizens start to panic when there's a severe storm or something happening with inclement weather. What we don't need you to do is start calling 911, because we're dispatching all of our crews, all of our units. We know it's storming. We know the trees are coming down. We know, if you start tying up the 911 line and freaking out, then you're just slowing back, because we're dealing with regular service calls in addition to inclement weather calls due to storms and power lines and all those things. We ask that you, this is a time of year we're going to experience some of this. So please understand that our folks are on alert. They're standing by. We have ready response units that always are watching the weather forecast, and they're ready to respond. And as the director just pointed out, I'm telling you, we had all hands on deck. I mean, everybody was out doing what they needed to do, and the response was just second to none here in Rockdale County. And the beauty of our county and our community, and I have to give a shout out also to the city government as well, because we all work very good together and respond together. When there's a tragedy or a storm situation, it really doesn't get caught up as to what's in the city, what's in the county. We just get the job done so we can open up the roads and get people power restored. We also have a direct communication. I want to make sure I put this out with Georgia Power and Snap and Shows. We know that the power went out. Please be patient. I had to tell one person, Snap and Shows and Georgia Power, they don't have blue lights and red lights on their trucks. They got to navigate through the trees that are falling down in the traffic, or the traffic signals being out too. They can't just drive through the intersection. You have to be patient. Please, ma'am, please, sir, don't call 911 and tie up the system in the middle of a storm, because we're trying to get out what we're trying to get out and service everybody. I do want to bring back up the highlight, because we were talking about the great work that Commissioner Williams is doing, and I want to make sure that we talk so much about mental health and mental illness, because you have certainly championed it, and we've talked about the fact that Commissioner Williams not only is the voice of Rockdale when it comes to mental health and mental illness, but she has taken a front seat in our region. And here we have a presentation of the fact that she's been appointed to this Mental Health and Substance Abuse Board, and she talked about her work with ACCG and moving around the region. I don't want anybody to glaze over that and take it lightly. Let's give Commissioner Williams a round of applause. In addition to that, I want to talk about what Commissioner Washington is doing with this whole housing initiative. Listen, don't downplay the need for housing. The country is in a housing crisis. What she's trying to do is make sure she creates a platform so folks will understand what the word affordable housing really is. There's a difference between affordable housing and low-income housing, or energy-efficient housing, and workplace housing. All of those different phrases can sometimes mislead people and confuse people, particularly our senior citizen population. Because when you talk affordable housing to some of our seniors, well, they still can't afford it when they only have an SSI check or a Social Security check. They can't afford what we're talking about on the regular market. So we have to have low energy efficient housing that will be able to address it. So she's doing a lot of work in that area. Give Commissioner Washington a round of applause. Every now and then, the chairman does get a little emotional. When she was talking about this luggage, I was thinking about what she said, and it is very clear. First of all, to help these babies maintain a level of dignity as they are transitioning from one place to another, to have a brand new piece of luggage. So I'm going to echo what you said earlier, Commissioner. If you're out there and you're watching this broadcast and you're in a position to bless these babies and be able to purchase a luggage so they can transition from one place to another, it's hard enough for them have to be moving from one place to the other. But at least you can do it without having your clothing in a pillowcase or some type of plastic bag or something like that. You don't know how important or what a difference this makes unless you know a child or somebody who's lived in a lifestyle like that. It makes a big, big difference. So if you can bless and if you can contribute, we ask that you support. Now, Commissioner, where's the drop-off point so people would know exactly where to drop them off?
So this was brought here to, PR actually gave this to me as I was walking in. By next week, we would have coordinated an actual day that we'll have a drop-off day. But if you have some luggage, bring it to the BOC. I promise you I'll get it to DFAX, and then by next week, we'll have the day that we're going to actually have the luggage drive.
Information.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. So whoever brought that, God bless you. Thank you for doing that. So many wonderful things that are going on in our county. Real quick, Director Redmond, come on up and tell us you got another wind down coming up and all of that.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Madam Commissioners.
Cake
Yes,
version.
sir.
Cake version.
Cake version. We do have 2 wind downs coming. One is July 14th. It'll be at Carson Mill. Starts at 6 p.m. ends at 9 p.m. The other will be August 25th, 2023. Same time, same place, same setup.
All right. Sunset Cinema.
Sunset Cinema. The next Sunset Cinema will be August the 5th. We'll be showing a movie called Red Panda. It will be at Carson Mill Park. The time will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we will have the movie on the beach, in the beach area, so that just to get a different feel for what we're doing.
All right. Very good. Very good. Thank you, Director.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll go to Executive Director Rutledge. Any announcements or anything we need to be made aware of as we move forward?
So I think the only thing that I would like to announce is that after our meeting today, we'll be on, the next time we will meet will be Tuesday, July 11th. We got a couple holidays in between that time, so I think that's worth noting. Thank you.
And we didn't mention Red, White, and Boom,
Right.
which will be this coming
July
Monday
3rd.
night.
Yes.
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 So Director Mims, come on up and tell us about Red, White, and Boom real quick and the whole collaboration between the city and the county.
Good morning. Good morning. So, for the last few years, we've collaborated with the city on Red, White, and Boom. It will take place July 3rd, right here in Old Town Conyers. Celebrations will be happening all day long from 4 to 10 p.m. Live band, food trucks, you name it.
All right. Very good. That was cake version there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Also, too, we have a very short video of our talent.
Yes, I was going to call for that just for a second. You're getting ahead of yourself, Director. I'm going to go to the Chief. And the Chief, anything that we're missing here before we go to talent management?
No, just that the county offices will be closed Monday and Tuesday, the 3rd and 4th,
Why?
for the holiday,
All
the
right.
July 4th holiday. Yeah, yes, we decided.
I thought I'd better say that because folks, if you don't explain it, you got to explain it. People watching, you know, they're like,
I just don't feel like going to work.
I can't tell you the number of times I've seen people walk up to the door and just pull on the door. They're pulling on the door. It's a holiday. We do take holidays. Thank you to the Board of Commissioners for holidays. So we brought back after a 2-year suspension, our employee meeting where we talk about all the benefits and the great things, pluses of working for Rockdale County. But I'm going to have the Executive Director, Tony Holmes, come on up as PR prepared to bring up the video, and she's going to give us a little opening about why we do what we do and why we have to take care of our employees who take care of the people.
Good morning, Chairman, Madam Commissioners. So yes, we are excited. And Chairman, actually, it was 3 years since we had done it. So we came back outside, if you will, and hosted our annual employee meeting. This meeting is important. It's an opportunity for us to get all of our employees together. We talk about any updated policies, any upcoming events or things that are going to be taking place, changes in our insurance. We actually are launching a survey this year, so we shared that with our employees, and we just want to make sure that they are informed, all of our wellness initiatives. So it is an opportunity for everybody to come together, one location, and receive a consistent message about what's happening in talent management and for our Rockdale County employees. They're going to be pulling it up. So in addition to us sharing information, we had an opportunity to engage our employees, and I'm going to call it some wellness activities because we were able to move around. And here it comes. That's there's no sound there, but I wish you guys can hear the singing. We have some amazing talent in Rockdale County. Simeon Webb. That's me. I'm gonna let it finish playing, just kind of tell you. Of course, we dance. And that is the winner. Michael Webb of our Rockdale County Stormwater. So he did an amazing job. That was his boss there. Great job. I do want to share, thank you. This was our first time hosting the talent show, and the theme this year was Rockdale's Got Talent. And so as you can see, we had over approximately 8 different employees that participated in our talent show. So we had rappers, we had singers, we had entertainers, performers. You saw a lot of great energy, and it was just a really great time for our employees to be able to come out and enjoy that. I do want to go ahead and announce, because we did show our winners. So we did have a first and a second runner-up, and I'll go ahead and announce that in this room as well. But our first runner-up was from our fire recruit, Rockdale County Fire Rescue, and that was, how do you pronounce his name? I was going to call him Prince Zay, because that was his stage name. Okay, I'm going to go with Prince Zay. He was our first runner-up, and then our second runner-up, right from our public relations department, he did a vocal song as well as played the guitar, and that is Mr. Simeon Webb. So congratulations, yes, to all of our winners. And we sent out a recap of all of the, not just that, but the important information that we shared as well. So we're looking forward to continue to engage our employees, making sure that they are informed about what's taking place, the benefits that we have for our employees here in Rockdale County.
Great job. Thank you, Executive Director.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Executive Director Rutledge, is there any need or reason for us to move into executive session this morning?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. This meeting is adjourned.